Yeah, there's something about True Neutral. It's that consistency. And especially, I mean, for me, my personal favorite on this team is RazeBull. He is always in the right spot, creates a ton of plays on his own for Shad and AJG. And I mean, AJG, no mistake about it, a solid player in his own right. All three of them. That's why they're top of South America. RazeBull sending one across. Renin will have the first catch on the backboard.
Yeah, of course, perhaps one of the edges that Noble do have in this matchup is that this is their last event of the RLCS X season. True Neutral will be playing against Furia in the championships at the very end, trying it all off. So maybe they're going to have that desire just a bit more than True Neutral. Oh, that's a lot of bumps in the defense as True Neutral collide. Nothing all that bad coming off it. And a miss from... yeah, so it's going back and forth here as Firefox just let one through there. You've got to make sure to shut down all these touches. You can't give True Neutral anything for free. They're going to take chances. They're going to create chances with or without your help.
Well, Habercamper will try again. He had a solid day yesterday as well, especially on the defensive end of things. If you need someone to pick up the saves, Habercamper will get the job done on defense. Renin, though, got blown through by RazeBull, and Habercamper forced back to the corner. So far, it's been a lot of True Neutral just kind of playing around in the blue half and Noble looking for an exit, but really one they haven't been able to find.
Yeah, True Neutral always playing forward the passes. We're seeing, you know, they've said no thank you to a couple of chances that would have pretty much been 50-50s with goalkeepers, and I like that they're holding back here. They're not throwing themselves into these risky positions. You know, at the same time, you will see that from other teams in the region, like Erased, and that's almost a goal, actually. A late save from Firefox, thought he would be there earlier. Does get the ball safely into the corner though. And still unclear who has the edge in game one.
Well, Firefox can't get anything set up, did delay the push from True Neutral. Grabbing more and more of the blue half, but the touches have been good enough for Noble to get back downfield. RazeBull forced up, play it to the corner. Renin's gonna grab most of it, rather. Firefox taking another shot up. No one grabbed the rebound, and RazeBull able to grab... RazeBull able to grab the rebound, rather, as Renin tries to flip around. Noble looking for a way in, but the box just unavailable. True Neutral all over him. Firefox off the ceiling, gets underneath, but it's just going to be played back to the corner.
Yeah, True Neutral doing their best to stay relevant in every play. Even when rotating back, they're playing the ball. They're not running into corners and leaving shots uncontested in the middle. And we've seen a few infield passes attempted by Noble so far. True Neutral must have been expecting this, or they're just aware of those when they're coming their way. Nothing going through the defense yet.
Oh, might be a pass across, but Habercamper off collecting boost in the corner. It is going to stop True Neutral from getting a quick transition. RazeBull having to work hard to get that ball out. Renin sends it across. Shad able to put it up in front of the box. Habercamper there, and AJG off the back wall and into Shad's bumper.
Yeah, was saved by Shad, reading the more difficult bounce. You know, the overhead where he's essentially blind to the opponent that's coming in for the rebound offensively. That's, you know, perfectly played by Shad, the Chad, who is always ready for any challenge. 184 ping in a USC server is nothing to this guy. So obviously on his home server, he's a different beast entirely. True Neutral still defending well, and that's been the main thing for me in this first game.
It's just that kind of thing, like 184 ping and no problems on other servers. It takes a really high ability to read the game into the future, or at least predict what's going to happen. I mean, and Shad's just always seems to be in the right spot, so that definitely, if you will, Johnny, passes the eye test for Shad.
That's the training weights, you know, they love to train, and they love to queue up US East ranked and hit those North American players, see how they stack up against them, even with the disadvantage. So this is easy mode, you know, coming back to the home server, it's so much more simple to get those reads and to know where the ball is going to be going on any given play. Like I said, Renin has gotten in the way of Shad there. It was the recovery of RazeBull. Always looking for those little passes in defense. AJG making himself available for one there, but full credit to Noble. You know, solid defense or not, I think they're really still the team who are pressuring more, and they've had the better chances in this game. They haven't taken any of them yet.
Not quite yet. They might find one, although True Neutral does get back onto the transition. AJG forced out of the play, and Firefox downfield to Habercamper. Does he have first look at it? He did, but Shad takes it out to the corner, and we'll go to OT on Manfield Nut.
Yeah, True Neutral still just sticking to their game plan. They're waiting for the mistake. They're waiting for the counter-attack, but Noble haven't gone all in. They're not playing as aggressively as perhaps True Neutral were expecting. True Neutral at any moment. We know all these three players have got the star quality. They've got the ability to create something out of nothing. And that's what we're really waiting for here. Who's going to step up? Who's going to make that big play?
It's certainly been difficult. You've talked about the defensive performance on both sides of the pitch, for that matter. There just hasn't been a lot of room to work with, but you find that one seam, and that'll be the difference. Habercamper kicked off the ball. It has to force a couple of challenges, but midfield hotly contested, and Razebull comes up with the first touch of downfield. Shot close, and Habercamper's all over it. Covers it up back to the opposite side, and wants a transition for Noble.
Yeah, completely dead even now, except True Neutral are getting a bit more territory to work with than in regulation time. Starting to apply that squeeze and just test Noble a little bit more. It's all been about the ground play for True Neutral. 50-50 game has been strong. They've been manipulating those to their favor pretty consistently, as another one goes hard into the middle. It's saved by Firefox to the corner. Dangerous times for Noble.
Shad having to buy time, and he'll do so. Back over to the side, and bought just enough time for Razebull to come back in on the push. Just a little pot shot. Habercamper gets the catch. Again, not able to quite break through on a extended attack in Noble territory, but Shad flips it over Renan, and it'll be played back to the corner by Habercamper.
This is a tense game one, as tense as you can get. Single elimination. Tournament life on the line in this series. Both teams are playing like it, and they, look like they've really warmed up for this, starting completely dead even. Still True Neutral, they're having more success in overtime, Jorby. They're starting to create those half chances, and you just wonder to yourself, how long can Noble hold on? As another high ball goes into the backboard. Renan gets the read. Every single one of these reads, difficult to make, but they are still getting them every time.
True Neutral have pushed up to the blue third now. Shad hops over a player. Has to contend with Renan. Habercamper able to push it back over to midfield, but again, no exit for Noble. Firefox plays on the ground, forces 150 and the second against AJG. You can't find the read, and Renan will push it back over to the corner. Razebull very carefully pushes this out over to Shad, just narrowly avoiding Noble on his way over. Shad, nothing for him, and just no lanes for True Neutral on Noble territory.
Well, True Neutral, they started playing more of that ground game and the ball control style. Similar to what we see from the very best teams in North America oftentimes. And Noble are happy to play that game. They're not countering that by sending the ball high repeatedly. They are also going for dribbling plays. They're controlling the ball whenever they can. And here's one in the air. Shad's been bumped, and he still gets the save. What a stop by Shad under immense pressure. And he clutches it out for his team.
Oh, and Noble haven't had a chance like that. Habercamper with all of that space, and you get the bump, but it's still denied. And you understand the third from Noble. Habercamper's just missed the ball, and Razebull punishes him. So for all the good grace they've built up, it means nothing at the end of OT.
And look at that as well. AJG bumping the last man on the back wall, preventing the clear from coming through. Razebull scores the winning goal. It was Shad who raised the bar there. What a defensive play to keep his team in it. And give them a chance to start that counter-attack. Noble must have thought that was their moment. That was their goal right there, waiting to happen. Shad says no. True Neutral take game one.
There's always this tendency to hit the panic button when a play like that doesn't work. It's like, okay, now we got to scramble, get back on defense. Okay, let's create another crazy opportunity. But really, it was just Noble trying to get back into that favorable spot. But Johnny, you pointed out a couple of times, that was really the only time that they had that much space to work with, and they couldn't convert that chance.
Yeah, there was pretty much 5 minutes of regulation there where Noble were out pressuring True Neutral, and they had more of the pitch to play with. And territory in Rocket League is important. When you've got more of the pitch under control, you control those mid boosts, and then you can start even going in and stealing the corner boosts, as we see all the time and have seen ever since the beginning of the Rocket League pro scene. That is why it's so impressive that True Neutral can just sit in defense, kind of like Envy. You know, that was a very Envy kind of game, I would say, because they didn't look like they were panicked at all. Even at the very highest level in Europe and America and anywhere in the world, teams can panic when they're in defense for that length of time, and they're, you know, consistently being backed up into the corners and having to fight for their corner boost. True Neutral, not bothered. They just played it safely, played it consistently, pulled out the clutch saves when they had to, got the dub.
It's funny that you mentioned Envy, because I was thinking earlier when I was watching Razebull this weekend, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Turbo Pulsa in terms of his vision on the pitch. He always finds himself in the right spot. Somehow he come up with...
Did he miss a flick and roll onto the ball and score it in the front? Anyway, I didn't see that one.
I don't think he has that yet. So it's like, you know, half a Pulsa. Half a Pulsa, not quite the Turbo yet.
Oh, that's almost bounced through. Good stop by Razebull. Solid defense by True Neutral. They are so focused at the moment, and this is, you know, why I think you've got to give them the edge in this matchup. And I'd go as far to even say if they make it into the semi-final, I think they've got the edge there as well, because they've been so consistent throughout this season. It's been True Neutral and Furia, the clear 2 best teams in the region, guaranteed top 2 seeds in the region, going into the RLCS X championships at the end of the season. Can't ignore that fact. They've been grand finalists in both the majors before this. It's performances like this that have got them there.
It's certainly showing why they're in that spot, and you know why there's a lot of True Neutral fans out there for South America. They've just been so good. Or maybe not necessarily fans is the wrong way to put it, but just the clearing away the favorite along with Furia, like you've been saying. But I think for Noble's credit, they've played a pretty tough game. But this difference of how True Neutral approach offense, the heavy ground game, the focus on 50s, has certainly given them the edge overall. Haberkamper tries to force the ball into the corner and will be pushed back by Firefox.
You know, we wondered who was going to make the big play in game 1 to clutch it up. We thought it might be an offensive play. We thought it might be something mechanical, a double touch, a flip reset. We know every single SAM player at this level can do anything in that category. It turned out to be a defensive play from Shad. That was the difference between the two teams, as you know, immediately after he makes the save after being bumped, the same thing happens to Noble and they can't make the save. And, you know, it's really no problem. It's not the defender's fault in that position. You're asking more than you should of a player like Shad. Yeah, he's been so consistent again, just effortlessly swatting a shot clear of danger. And some flip resets it on target. And it's in, Shad! My goodness. You ask him to do everything, and he does it all.
Oh man, Firefox, he tried, but he had no boost along the back wall. Shad winning that challenge in the third, the flip reset, giving him the option. And you talk about South American players, just they're capable of going for anything. I'm surprised, Johnny, because I think that's only the second flip reset attempt that we've seen between both teams so far. And Shad just ripped another one off the crossbar. No chance at the net, though, taken away by Haberkamper.
Yeah, Renan, you'll be thanking his lucky stars he didn't land on that an own goal. Oh, it's open actually for Razebull. He misses the open part of the net though, shoots it to the goalkeeper, maybe expecting a pre-jump or a dive across the goal. True Neutral starting to take control, and it's all Shad at the moment. Just get this guy the ball. If you could assist, if you could pass the ball to yourself, you'd have an assist, a save, and a goal all on that one play. Because it was him who chipped it up for himself to follow up with the flip reset. Straight down the middle. Razebull's got another open net here. He won't miss this one. 2-0 True Neutral.
And every time Noble were able to get it clear, it was just boomed right back to their net. And eventually, True Neutral are going to win the war of attrition, catch you in the gap on your rotation, and Razebull collecting another one for True Neutral. Noble struggling to get the ball out on defense to really win those 50s that can give them chances. Something they were a little more successful with in the first game of the set, but they just haven't had that kind of breakout potential on Forbidden Temple.
Yeah, I think True Neutral are just too comfortable at the moment, and it's up to Noble to start surprising them more often. Whether that's mind games or mechanics, whether it's a mental game or the physical game, whatever it is, it's not happening. Razebull just barrels through the last defender once again, and it's 3-0.
Oh, what do you do? Razebull, a perfect first touch up, and Renan, he tries to get the read, he tries to pitch it against the post, but Razebull's just got most of his octane behind that ball. Good luck saving that one.
Yeah, he just took a haymaker from one player, gets back up, and then gets dunked on at the top corner. It's a nightmare scenario, and it is difficult to deal with these. You can't just shrug off these challenges. Unless you're Shad, apparently. He can.
Yeah, Shad's no problem. You were saying earlier, you know, it's almost like he collected one of each. How dangerous would a team of 3 Shads be? Oh. Well,
Firefox 3 Shads, Jarby. Well, you know, if you had to,
that's true.
These guys are pretty much they're true neutral. They're a very even squad across the board. 3 players who can make the big plays. They can play with such consistency. It's, you know, something we didn't really see from Sam before this season. They've taken it to a new level in that regard. We've always had the pop-off players and the players who can have an absolute blinder of a game, but true neutral, very, very consistent, very even across the board, and every one of their players is really well-rounded.
Yeah, they really haven't sweat a whole lot in the set, and even that shot going to be easily taken away by Shad. Their positioning has just been so clean. And that's something we haven't really been able to say about any team in South America defensively. But True Neutral seem to be that first case of that consistent positioning, not letting the ball blow over your third man almost every push. And they're starting to, you know, connect all the pieces together and are becoming a real tough out, especially for Noble. Shad gets another look at the net. It's defended. Noble just haven't been able to find a way in this set. They've been a step behind about every touch. Habercamper sends one across, but again, Razebull right into the spot. And Forbidden Temple, it belongs to True Neutral, heading to game 3. Noble are still looking for some answers.
Yeah, just too much consistency. As you know, Noble, whatever they had, whatever advantages they had in game 1, were not present in game 2. Territory was against them, possession was against them. It's very much a True Neutral series now. Noble can step up. We know we're talking about consistency across the season. They're 3rd in the points. They're the closest team to Furia True Neutral. Looking at the whole season, probably not now. You know, Erased and Rebel have put themselves in that conversation. But Noble have been in this position for many times before. These guys are OGs of the South American Rocket League scene. They'll know how to dig themselves out of a tough situation. The only problem is, I don't think True Neutral are going to give them anything to work with. I don't think True Neutral give them a mistake to play off. It's all on Noble to step it up, because True Neutral are not going to fall off.
Yeah, it does feel like the snowball is starting to roll down the hill. And I mean, like, there's been some bright spots for Noble. Like we were talking about it earlier with their, you know, they're not trying to force the issue, right? They know True Neutral are winning that ground game, winning the 50 game. And so they keep giving respect to that, but then they lose every other area of the game. They can't get a clear, they can't get a boost, and everything spirals out of control. So Noble on DFH, something has to change so they can start winning these challenges and maybe get some goals on the board. But instead, it's just more of the same, Johnny. Razebull from midfield, no problem.
Yeah, Razebull he's just been given far too easy of a task there. Habercamper's running upfield looking for a demo. Renan was waiting to see if anyone was going to play that ball, and Firefox has made a move into the middle. Nobody's staying back. And if you don't have a player actively on the ball, if you don't have somebody ready to get goal side, play a 50-50 as a worst case scenario, you can't have everybody forward like that. You need to have somebody back. And yeah, rookie mistake there for Noble. True Neutral immediately punished them.
Ooh, nice clear from Habercamper and a good return touch by Renan. Habercamper punches it between 2 defenders, but Razebull gonna clean it up back across the corner. So even when it started to look good for Noble, they can't even consistently get touches onto the ball. Ran diving, but AJG gets there in time, and Razebull dives back to kick it away from Firefox. Again, it looked like a good setup for Noble, but the real control was in True Neutral's hands.
Yeah, they've got such deft touches, and the finesse is really shining in defense at the moment. They've got those clears, those little chips, and those little lobs, just popping the ball into the corner every time. And it's frustrating for Noble, because if you go up against this, your shots are delayed, the follow-ups are delayed. You have to really build another attack every time that it's cleared. Look how easy it is for True Neutral, meanwhile, from one end to another, and it's another goal for Razebull. Drops in the rebound, 2-0. They don't miss. They just don't miss, Jarby. Give them a chance.
Never miss.
Just taking it.
I mean, how many touches in a row was that before? I mean, the blue touches were just orange touches to me. That's what it looked like, because True Neutral were just weaving a web around this team, and Noble just had no way to get out of it. They got spun around, and Habercamper, he thought he might have been in a good spot, but he knew he was toast as soon as Razebull got behind that ball, and he might do it to him again, but Habercamper gets to that touch.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more it is just an Envy-like performance, just so solid. This is South American Envy right here. If you know, they've got an equivalent. Oh my, what dunk that would have been, Shad. course, the one who just muscles the ball straight through. Raisebill's looking for his hat-trick here. Oh, or is he? Instead, goes for the pass. I don't think Shad was on the same page with him that time. And they're going to get punished on the counter. What a pass by Renan. Firefox slams it home.
And they haven't got many chances like this. The ones that they did, they weren't able to convert. But like you said, perfect pass up from Renan to Firefox. And you couldn't ask for a better transition. They need more of those. If True Neutral could give them another gap, then there might be a chance for Noble.
Yeah, the synergy was clearly there. And, we saw True Neutral were a bit tentative to move in as a third man. Well, that's open though. Shots at the bar. Oh my goodness. Should have been
a little too hard in the weight room.
3-1. It's not. It's still 2. Might be 2-2 though. Oh, what a save by AJG. And Shad as well. Dives in front of the follow-up shot. Look how quickly they threaten the counter. Every time they're the faster team to that second ball.
And now they've got full possession. Shad in front. AJG actually got pulled off the ball by Renan. But Shad's got the boosts. And tries to play it away from Firefox, but Noble, no chance at the net. Great stops in front of the goal by True Neutral, and Shad off the ceiling from midfield. Does he got the read? No, he doesn't need it though, and it's taken away. AJG will pitch it back over to the corner. Plenty of time and some hard kicks. Firefox kicks AJG out of the way, but unfortunately didn't make solid contact onto the ball.
I think this volatile state of the game is going to suit Noble, though. They would much rather play True Neutral at this game, where the ball's flying around, and it's much harder to control, because when it's a slow game, when it's True Neutral are dictating the flow, they just look so at home. So Noble have got to keep up this pace. It suits it at least a lot more than what was happening earlier in Game 2.
They're really trying to steal those boosts away, too. Renan's touch earlier, high and away, was just to collect midfield. They've been struggling for it for a while, but now Firefox lets another one rip. And AJG able to play it back out to the side. Havercamper making up for lost time. Still has those challenges. This looks like a good set for Noble. Firefox back over to Havercamper. Oh! Off the back wall, Firefox takes it away. And Renan, no chance at the ball. Raiseball got back in the way. AJG sends it back to the blue half.
So close. It was a great position for Firefox. He wasn't sure whether he should try the impossible angle shot or maybe drop it down for a teammate. And in the hesitation there, the time left him. It was too late. Counterattacks are just coming into such ease from True Neutral. Look at how effortlessly they find each other in defense and get those counterattacks started. Now Renan's just narrowly missed there, but he had the respect to the defender. Shad all over the counter-attack as it goes towards them. Down the center of the field. Nothing going for Noble unless it's a creative pass. We saw that earlier on. They can read each other. They can play well as a team on the transition. When it comes to solo plays, True Neutral are a brick wall.
Certainly been difficult to handle those from True Neutral. While Noble can find each other on defense, they've had nothing in terms of space. Raiseball underneath. Flip reset taken away by Renan. Stealing away the ball was Shad, but Havercamper able to clear it back out. Noble's defense has been solid. They need that quality opportunity. Whether it has to be a creative pass or through a demo, it doesn't matter. 25 seconds to get it done on DFH. Taken away. Renan sends it back. Raiseball will punch it over to AJG. No chance for Noble at all. Just hard clears back to the blue.
Yeah, it's just the communication for True Neutral is too good. They are connecting with each other in defense with such consistency. It's buying them so much time. That's a cheeky fake though by Firefox. He's got options in the middle. Shad will block his shot. Renan just keeping the ball alive here, but the bump on Havercamper should be game over. Raiseball is looking for the ground, and he gets it. 3-0 True Neutral on another level at the moment. It's a brave fight from Noble. No points on the board. And now they need 4.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a way back into this match for Noble. They got that one transition, and that was it. You were saying at the end of game 2, you weren't sure if True Neutral were going to give them one opening, and that may have been the one time Noble could truly do something. I mean, when you have the individual ability of all 3 players on True Neutral, if you can't match that with Noble, you're going to be struggling the whole match, and that's what we're witnessing.
Yeah, I think the gift in this game was Shad playing crossbar challenge right before this goal happened. Yeah. When Renan started the runaway down the middle and had Firefox as an option. Perfect flick pass though. He really loved it up beautifully. Gave all the options to Firefox. He wasn't forced to shoot the ball in any particular direction. He could aim that anywhere he wants. And of course, he puts it over the goalie's head, as you should, if the goalie's got momentum. But yeah, Shad, he hit the crossbar before that. It should have been 3-1. And based on True Neutral's performance for the most of this series, I would have expected it to be 3-1 there. But instead, a chance for Noble. But yeah, they've got to just go all in here. True Neutral are playing so carefully and so reserved, so safely, because they can. Because they, I think, are just the better team at passing the ball out of defense. They're the more solid team with their efficiency, with their boost management, with their 50-50s. Noble don't have that luxury. They just have to throw everything at True Neutral here, is what they're doing right now, where they're playing with a little bit more reservation. Not enough.
Gonna need some harder contacts from Noble. Firefox, though, opts for control. He wants Renan in the middle, and he'll get him. But again, Shad all over it. And a risky challenge from Habercamper puts Noble in a tough spot. He drops the ball, and AJG tries to cover. And he does buy a little bit of time for Razebull to read it, and happy that Firefox couldn't get a touch.
That's an absolute clinic on how to clear the ball. You'll never see a True Neutral clear going down the middle of the pitch towards likely attacking players. It's always to the side, it's always into corners, it's always lobbed nice and high. You think about, Bruno Visky's unfortunate mistake at the end of the last series we saw today, where he slams the ball into the sidewall and it centers itself. We've not seen anything like that from True Neutral. It's been perfectly hit into the corners with consistency.
Noble been able to push down the field a couple of times, but really haven't been able to shake True Neutral off the ball. In the story of the match, Firefox gets underneath on a quick flip reset, but again, Razebull gets behind it. Renan has Habercamper on the wing, shot denied by Shad as he hops in front. And again, True Neutral marching down the pitch, forcing another 50. Razebull gets right in front of it too, and just that positioning and that challenge game is so tough to contend with for Noble, and True Neutral have the ball again.
Yeah, they're just making it awkward for Noble here. Every single touch from a True Neutral player is going away from them. Oh, that's an awkward play for AJG though. He didn't have a lot of boost, still gets the save, of course, out into the corner, as they always do. It's just so consistent. No touches going middle. Oh, that one's half middle, but no one there for it. It's tough to read them, Noble. They pretty much need one player either side at all times if they're ever going to intercept a clear, because True Neutral's just too consistent.
Maybe a look here. Razebull gets punched off the ball. Habercamper pass to nobody. Firefox was playing the corner, and I think that shows you how they've felt the game has been going. Starting to try to position to where those common areas that the ball's been ending up to, and that's been True Neutral consistently winning those challenges, pushing them off to the corner. Noble, another look here, but again, pitched off to the corner. Razebull giving a shot to Renan, and he'll punish them. Noble have taken their first lead in the set.
Well, there you go. That's the odd mistake. Oh, it's AJG. He's looking for the small pads. He was out of boost, and an attempted infield pass towards him goes on the wrong side. So a bit of miscommunication there from True Neutral. Just one time in this entire series we've seen that. An infield pass to your goalie is a viable play. It's something they've executed several times this series, but when you've got a goalie who's making that little 12 boost pad circuit, it's probably not the best time to go for it.
Certainly a little more risky. They may get it right back. It's Shad so speedy around the corner. But Noble getting a little speedier on defense. Firefox wins another set. Habercamper shot denied. Firefox demoed. And Shad gonna force Renan to make a perfect touch. Well, it wasn't perfect. He did keep possessions. Tried to slip underneath, and it's kicked back out to the corner.
Yeah, True Neutral just trying to let this series win itself here. They've decided, well, we're not conceding here. We're too comfortable. Let's just give Noble the full field, let them do whatever they want. And then, of course, one mistake does get you in trouble. So the downside of playing defensive, perhaps. But they've still got time, 90 seconds for True Neutral. But they've only got one car in the field. It's Firefox to Renan, Shane Demos at the exact same time. And there's the one car that they do have. Shad on the ball. Defended well, though, by Noble.
AJG caught it out, and Razebull gets the continuing clear. Oh, Renan. Noble generating some more chances off these steals in midfield, but they just maybe take too long to get something going off of it. Habercamper crashes the net, but gets no touch onto the ball. Swinging wide is Renan. Another shot squeezed off the corner. Habercamper's another one. Finally, Noble break through. They bought some insurance.
Great shot by Habercamper, and this is huge for Noble. They can finally, at least for a moment, feel comfortable. And, they can't play comfortable. They can't act like they're just going to casually take a win here. But a 2-goal lead against True Neutral is so much nicer than a 1-goal lead. And now I think they are just going to try and waste that time away, get the ball up high, get it into safe positions, make sure everybody's relevant in every play. True Neutral are going to up the pressure at the end of the game. There's Shad. He's hit the shot a bit too low, though. I think he wanted to go higher with that one. And nothing going for them in that play. But now Raze will break rotation. There's the aggression coming through from True Neutral. Mind game towards the goal. Haberkamper in the face of danger gets it clear.
Firefox able to continue the push. Renan stealing that boost away, and it's been a, well, I would say return to form, but really the first form that Noble had been able to find in the match so far. As long as nothing crazy happens in the closing seconds, it looks like they will take a game in the set. Firefox sends one hurling and just misses off the post. Either way, though, Johnny, Noble have been able to withstand this pressure from True Neutral and survive for one more game.
And it's a promising second goal for them. The way that happened will give them hope going into game number 5. I think, you know, had they just taken this game 1-0 and the only goal of the game is a True Neutral defensive mistake, Noble will probably be thinking to themselves, is what we're doing, is it going to work? But their second goal was hard-earned than it was entirely of their own doing. They got a quick shot. For once, they managed to get a quick shot off after a True Neutral save, so it can be done, and that's promising. But yeah, you have to also point out that first defensive mistake is unlikely to happen again. True Neutral's communication has been brilliant in defense, consistently on point, time and time again. But you see there, it's risky. Firing an infield pass towards where your goalkeeper should be is inherently a risky thing to do. So what if they're not there? I mean, maybe Razebull was just trying to go for a boomer clear, but you know, they've been passing in defense so often, I imagine that was intentional, and it just caught AJG by surprise.
Well, I mean, if you are Noble here and you're not expecting True Neutral to give you any more mistakes, Johnny, I mean, how do you create more of those chances? They haven't been able to win the 50 game too often, right? So if they can't come out and win it right here, I mean, what's the path forward for Noble if they really want to try to force this to at least 6?
Well, you know, the key is just not hanging about in the center for bad clears. That's a great blind save by Renan here. And he's got a reset off a bump from one of his teammates. Really well played there in an awkward situation. You're not going to get any bad clears from True Neutral, or at least you're not going to get many bad clears. You're not going to get enough to merit waiting at the edge of the box for that clear to happen. You have to go to the sides. You have to anticipate the True Neutral are going to keep on putting that ball that way, or into your net, as HAG will capitalize on, what is that? That's a clear straight down the middle. Not that Renan had many options. I think he's done well to even save the first shot. True Neutral 1-0 up already.
Yeah, Shad hit that ball with some lead inside of it. Either way, not the way Noble want to start. They had scored first on Utopia, but maybe they can equalize pretty quickly here off the kickoff. Firefox, that's not going to get it done as Shad tried to get that ball out in front. Haberkamper can't really find a way in, and True Neutral will contest midfield yet again.
You know, it sounds easy when you say, okay, well, how do you break down a defense like this? Just play like NRG. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Simple.
Easy.
Just just play like NRG. Just play like BDS. You know, play like a Furia on their day.
Why aren't you Monkey Moon? What are you doing?
Yeah, just be Monkey Moon. It's that simple, really. But that is, you know, jokes aside, that is the answer. You need that playstyle where you're swarming the other team and where there are no clearing angles that are safe because you've got a player on the right, you've got a player on the left, you've got someone sitting back covering the hard clear. That's what Noble needs to be doing, because True Neutral have got such, you know, great shot selection, or clear selection, I should say. They just never give it away. They don't give it to you for nothing. And Noble just haven't been able to predict them. They haven't been able to intercept those clears enough for my liking. Oh dear, that might be on target. And Razebull will double up for True Neutral. It's a dunk in the midfield. And it's getting desperate for Noble already.
Renan was expecting that play to go completely differently. Either way, that's a risky spot to be sitting when you're dealing with the beast that is True Neutral, and you're sitting that close behind Haberkamper. There aren't many plays that are going to be pushed out that you can immediately get to that you won't be beat on immediately after. So Noble are trying to force the issue, but you force it a little too hard, you'll dig yourself too deep a hole.
Yeah, it's a very tough line to walk. It is basically a tightrope when you're playing against your True Neutral. You have to push yourself to the absolute limit, but you can't overextend at all, and it's difficult to find that balance for an entire series, far less one game. Yeah, True Neutral have got the 2-goal cushion now, so if there's ever a time to expect no mistakes, it would be now. Oh, what a demo! Razebull couldn't get around the ball, but he's gotten around the defender, got around the attacking player, I should say, taking him completely out the frame.
Ooh! Ooh!
And yeah, third man just not close enough to capitalize on the ceiling bounce.
Thought they might have had something going there, but whoops! Everybody jets past the ball, and Shad gets the calculated back pass over to Razebull. Another solid touch, but that's actually right to Firefox, and he nailed it off the crossbar. Placement from Firefox puts Noble on the board.
You know, as usual, it's a testing shot, but he's hit it so perfectly. That's in off the post and the bar. Firefox, with authority, gets Noble one back. So there is time, a lot of time, and that's another well-struck shot for Noble. 2 in a row now between last game and this one, where they have just been too quick into those positions, and they're pouncing on those clears. They've got to continue doing that. And you notice the side-on approach there for Firefox really helped him out.
Well, Renan trying to help out and ends up putting Habercamper in a must-clear spot, and he'll nail it. Gets it by Razebull. But AJG long on the rotation, going to take it back to the blue half. Had a little bit of space, but moved quickly. And True Neutral have to wait for the bounce to come back to them. It does, and on the read, Razebull going to take it to the corner. Shad trying to figure out where exactly that ball was going to go. He'll get underneath, trying to push the ball forward. The rest of True Neutral, back steal and boost, and Shad almost wipes the whole team out himself. Razebull gets the first, he gets the second, he's just too much! Razebull picks up the third!
Once again, Razebull raises the stakes. He says, well, Habercamper, you can cover as much of the goal as you want, buddy. That's not where we're going. We're going to the backboard. And Benton into your goal once you're out the way. 3-1. Far too close range to react to. Nothing really the goalkeeper can do against a play that's executed that well. 2-goal gap opens up again. Still though, here come Noble. And that's a bump. Oh, it just had to be on target. Firefox needed to hit the net there because Renan was continuing with pressure on the keeper. Accuracy letting Noble down late in the game, late in the series, and Razebull's not going to have the same problem. It's 4-1, and it's just too easy for True Neutral in this game. All too many chances. Look at that continuation. AJG just keeps on flying off a challenge, double jumps, and then just gets the extra touch that nobody expects.
What do you do? Let's just, you know, Renan, the ball skips off. That's unfortunate, right? But you think, okay, well, that's just going to bounce off the ceiling. We'll have a chance to get it back. And JG's like, no, dude, I got the air brakes. Ooh. And also the air shots. That's the 5th goal. And this one squarely out of reach now for Noble.
Yeah, it's True Neutral are too good. They've really stepped up here. They've shown their class. Lost once in group stage yesterday, but this is championship form. This is playoffs form for True Neutral, and I think they could easily go the distance here. It was a much closer series in the other quarterfinal, and you know PJ is confident that they can take down True Neutral. I think it's going to be a great series either way. What a clash of styles. True Neutral playing so carefully, so reserved. They've got the defense on lockdown. Meanwhile, PJ, I don't think he ever stays in his own half. He's a permanent feature. But whenever you're playing against him, he's actually getting your back corner boost more than you are. So it's going to be a great series. True Neutral have dominated here. But Arrays are going to be a completely different challenge.
You know, that's true. If PJ could delete half of the pitch on his client, he probably would. That way he didn't have to look at his own side. But True Neutral, you're going to need both sides of the pitch. There's so much to contend with on this team. You've got Shad, who can seemingly take over the lobby on his own. Razebull, who just makes life hard in general across the pitch. And AJG also has got the style on top of it. Noble will pick up a goal for the way home. And I think, you know, for Noble, there's a lot of good things that you can take away from this set. True Neutral are still a leg above them, but we did see some creativity, and they got crafty on Wasteland, but it just wasn't enough for the snowball to stop the snowball. Yeah.
And yeah, they can still be, I think, proud of their season as a whole. They've ran into a very tough opponent here in the quarterfinal. South America this season for RLCS X has proven that the region is definitely elevating. There's more and more competitive teams on the show, and these guys have been one of them consistently. In fact, the first team to take a series internationally against North American and European competition, Noble, back in Montreal. So they've been there, they've done that, they're still here. And yeah, they're still fighting. GG's. But it's AJ GG's in the middle there, man of the match in the last one. Just too good on the day.
Just too good. Shad, Razebull, and AJG, the expected win, at least on the desk, even though Twitch chat was a bit split on the issue. There's no splitting hairs anymore after that one in 5 games. Quite clear, True Neutral are the better team and will be moving to the semifinals. That was exactly what you expected if you're a True Neutral fan and you want to see them competing in their best form possible. So we'll be seeing them move on to the semifinal, and I'm excited for both of these semis. I think this is going to be the highest quality we've gotten out of South America so far, and it's going to be a fun one for sure.
Oh yeah, fun is the right word. I mean, Erase have such an exciting style. They hold nothing back. You know, thank goodness they've got Luke in defense, who, I mean, he's so happy to just let his teammates run riot up front. But if True Neutral are going to play the same style they played here, and they're able to keep control and avoid those demos, avoid those boost steals, try and just stop PJ from doing his thing, I will be so impressed. They might turn it up. They might fight fire with fire. Either way, it's going to be a great series.
Well, we'll have those semifinals coming up for you after the break. 3 more matches are left. 4 teams remain. Who will be the last one standing? Find out after the break.